Hey, man. Just having fun, man. Ha ha! Oh, so good to see you all, and I feel very connected to you. This is what I like to call Top Shelf Quality Productions presents Top Shelf Quality's Late Night Live tonight. And you may think that things are a little crazy. Things look a little wacky and a little bit out of cue, and that's the reason for that, and the reason for other things that you'll be seeing in the episode to come, is that this is a special edition of Top Shelf. It's one that we have every 18 months. It's called the Top Shelf Quality Productions Drugs and Drug Culture Edition. And let's get a little bit of drugs and drug culture kind of sound like don't take the brown acid. I'm glad you're here because we've got a big show. We'll be joined by a special band, and they're called Mitsubishi Electric. We've got a special band coming on. These guys are big, and they'll be joining us. And as usual, we'll have all kinds of fun games and pranks, and we'll be discussing our favorite drug experiences. And don't tell the boys in blues, but we'll be discussing them in a lot of detail. And so I'd like to, but before we get to the show proper, I'd like to, and maybe I'm just so stoned out of my gourd that I don't even know what I'm doing here, but I just got a few thoughts I want to share to you. And the first one of these thoughts is, so we've big news today. Mark Zuckerberg, he's the premier of Facebook, and it turns out this guy, this crafty little character, turns out he's a bit of a narc. This guy's been reading our messages, not cool, harshing my mellow. And so I say to this Mark Zuckerberg, if you're going to read your message, if you're going to read my messages, well, I mean, I'm too busy. I'm all doped up and I'm stoned out of my gourd. But if you're going to read my messages while you're there, how about you delete some of my freaking spam? Big news today from the British Isles. William the Conqueror has invaded the country of Hastings. This is the Battle of Hastings, and they're calling it, the pundits in the Beltway are calling it the Battle of 1066. And that's good, that's fine, but I can't wait for the sequel. It's called the Battle of 1067, The Search for Spock. Big news on Capitol Hill today. We've got George Christensen. He's a prominent PM, and he's been dinged on the radar for going to Southeast Asia. You know, they reckon that, just between you, me, and the furniture, they reckon that he's been negotiating deals with some salubrious types, 16-year-old ladies and so on. But I think, George, what are you wasting your money on? According to the pop-ups on my computer, there are singles ready to meet me in my local area. Oh, I'm going crazy. I probably had too many Chibas on my way here. I had too many puffs on the stick, but I'm glad that you're. I'm glad you're here because we've got as he's not a special guest, he's a regular guest, as we have him every week, and please welcome him in and welcome him in with a lot of gusto. Please welcome Fruit Turner. How you going, buddy? Going good?
Thank you very much for having me, Biz. I'm going very well.
You got a fresh new look. Where's Fruit Turner and what have you done with him?
Well, look, I've been through a lot in the past couple of months. I'm not sure if you were aware, but when I was on the show before, the only reason I was able to be such a spontaneous, hilarious character was I was addicted to bad coffee.
We're not talking Java.
No, not regular Java. It's See, it's this coffee from.
Speak up so we can hear you at home.
It's this coffee. Sorry, it is. It's you know I love you. It's this coffee from Ethiopia. I actually went there and did an ashram retreat.
You did the ashram
recently? Yeah.
Is that like I did? Does that come in a pill or a powder form? The ashram.
It's purely sober. It's no drugs, no drugs, no it's all vegetarian.
No drugs. Kill me now.
Well, listen, brother, I would have said the same thing a couple of months ago, but I've really seen the light,
Yeah. Are you sure it wasn't the light? Are you sure you weren't so stoned that you saw a big light in front of you?
I can see how you'd think it would be that way, but no, not at all. I'm enlightened by just the pure nature of being, just completely unadulterated. Not affected by any external sources or it's nice.
I'm trying to quit sugar. Well, look, I'm glad you're here because we have a special guest. Do you like music?
Yeah, I really enjoy music. There's many different vibrations that can occur on the spectrum, and they all appeal to me in different ways. They're all equally beautiful. It really reminds me of how to just be in the moment. And
well, I'm glad you like music because we have got a rock band coming on. I mean, they are big parts of what I like to call the San Francisco sound, and they've been tearing it up in the Bay Area, and they've also been taking day trips to Wyong, and they are a big act, and we're really lucky to have them here.
Wow.
And I think what I'm so pleased to have them here is that because I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit loosey goosey myself. I mean, I've taken a couple of joiners, and I took a couple of cool people in the crowd as well. They know what I'm talking about. I've taken a couple of joiners, and I've had a hit on. I think the guy at the store called it a spunk.
Oh, like how does it feel? Just out of interest.
Just that it was well, actually, could we maybe if we've got and this is advanced Japanese technology that we put in. We've got a special camera in here, and it's a camera that I like to call the trip cam. Now, we'll be able to kind of maybe get a little feed from. Here's the trip cam here, and what this is advanced Japanese technology, and what it allows you to do is allows you to look into the mind of nominated users who have admin access, and it allows you to kind of see what's happening in the wacky world of their trip. And so it's called Trip Cam, and we're really excited to have it here, and we'll be referring to it occasionally, but not too much, but we will also refer to it quite a bit.
Just occasionally.
And
that's fine.
But before we get onto this, I would like to introduce them now, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that you like music, because we have got some special guests on the blower. Please welcome them in. Please welcome them out. Please give them the old Royal Bronx cheer, because this is an act, and they're called Mitsubishi Electric. Let's hear them. Let's get them on. Let's get them on. That's the Mitsubishi.
Welcome to the show. Is he alright? Yeah, he's cool. Wow.
You're mic'd up there, babe?
Hi, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
now we've got them
good.
here. They're from the band that they're from the Mitsubishi Electric. Please, and I'd like to introduce you one by one, and then maybe I'll introduce you one by one, and then kind of as a collective. Now, the first one we have, and let's mention. So you see him in. Actually, just hold on a second. Take it off. Glasses. Take
What?
it off. Take off the glasses.
Take off the glasses.
Take off the glasses. Both of you, take them off.
I
Take off the
I'll take
glasses.
mine off. Sly can't take hers off.
Take off the glasses.
I have conjunctivitis.
You don't take off the glasses. I'm gonna fucking take them off.
I have
Take off the glasses.
I'll take off the glasses, but not
He took off my glasses. I have conjunctivitis.
here.
Well, look, you're here to promote your newest album, but at first I should introduce you. Now, on the right here, he's got that kind of shirt situation going on, and please welcome and give him the top shelf welcome. Please welcome Krusty Stevens. Krusty, do you want to give us the old hello, the royal salute?
Hello.
And now this is on the left of Krusty. Between Food and Krusty, we've got another, and I believe that you're the kind of the singer or maybe even the vocalist. I dare to say.
I'm the front man of
Please
our band.
welcome Slug. Can we just check the trip cam quickly? I mean, I want to find out are you guys tripping right now?
I don't do drugs anymore, unfortunately.
I wasn't asking you. How are you guys? Are you guys?
He wasn't asking you. Why do you think I got conjunctivitis?
Just because it was cool.
No, actually, I just did a square of cocaine rock recently.
Hey man, it's all
right before
cool.
I came on stage.
It's all cool.
We're cool with talking about that on this show, aren't we?
So how are you going?
Well, I just did a square of cocaine rock on this right before we went on the show. So
Look,
Krusty?
we're about 10 tads of absid deep.
Of Absid?
Yeah. 10 tads of absid. That's right. Yes. 10 tads of absid.
So, and this is
Taps.
we'll update this on our.
So how do you think we're going?
You guys must be on cloud nine.
When you're 10 taps of absid deep, how do you think you're going?
I mean, you guys must be seeing. You turn to your best friend, horns growing out of your best friend's freaking head.
When you look, I tell you what, look,
Hey, Snapchat it,
10 tads deep.
and then you put that on your Instagram stories.
I had 7 tans last night right before we hit the hay, and I am fine.
But so you had 10 tabs of Absid, and you had 7
10
tans.
Different formulation of
Well, you do the math.
Crazy thing, yeah.
You do the math.
Basically, I have this
I
healer.
do the math.
I have this healer, and he specifically makes me up this thing. There's
Stop
this
the music.
It's this different unit of measurement.
So
that he
you've
uses.
got a new album coming out.
Oh.
The Hefty Absid. All right, we're cool. So you've got a new album coming out, and you were absolutely zonked on Absid and a couple of tabs of cocaine rock. But I hear that. What kind of music have you got going on this album?
So it's kind of.
It's not music.
It's more.
Record
It's
scratch.
more than music.
I have to go bathroom.
Yeah, go.
So we kind of we've basically come up with our own genre / instrument / experience. It's an experience.
Hold it closer to your mouth.
So what we did was tell them about it. Tell them what we did with the hamster.
We acquired a hamster, as you do.
Yep.
We spoke to it. We shared our thoughts and feelings. One of the things that happens when you're 10 tabs deep is you commune with nature. And really, I like to commune directly. So for some people, they go out, they go on a bushwalk, they go to the beach. They
Hey, does
try
a bear shit in the woods? Keep going.
Exactly. Well, for us, we like to go right to the source. So we sat down, just had a chat, a straight up adult chat with a hamster. And he advised us to do a kind of, vague improvisational.
Hey, I get a little vague sometimes when I've been sucking too many times on the what's the one where it kind of makes you all you're like, hey,
weeb.
Weeb. Yeah. I had a couple of joints of weeb.
Preach.
I saw horns growing out of my best friend's head. Keep going.
Then what
I've
did you
heard
do?
about that. It's a phenomenon.
Then what did you do?
3 weeks ago, on Easter weekend, they mounted their massive invasion of South Vietnam.
I thought we were allowed to talk about anything we wanted to talk about in
Did
this
you just say
interview.
Guam? Guam's very close to both of our hearts, actually. It's actually the inspiration behind our latest album, our psycho-delic album.
Yeah.
This is the album that has like a
Available now.
fancy.
On top of that, the hamster and Third Eye Blind, the third, I think, great uniting theme of this album. It is a concept
Third
album.
Eye
It is
Blind.
Guam.
What's the point of even having it?
We got hamsters, eyes, and Guam. We meshed those together and we produced this album. And we all think everybody should have the opportunity to listen to it because we
How
think
did you
it'll
come to
change
be
all
I
in-
of
think
your
anyone
lives.
should be able to listen to it.
How'd you
though.
come to be in a band?
You have to earn the
I mean, come on.
Sorry.
How did you come to be in a band?
meeting over here. So quick backstory for me. I grew up in an orphanage in North Vietnam. I was always bullied. I was by myself. I was the only one who was a bit odd. I once was digging around in these dumpsters behind the orphanage and I found a keyboard. And so I pulled that keyboard back to my room.
What was like an MS-DOS? You're typing commands on your MS-DOS keyboard?
It was
back
a
to you.
Samsung, actually, but...
Okay, so, but Krusty, what was, we've heard from Slug. Krusty, what's your backstory?
Well, really, it's kind of like an opposites attract sort of situation because my background couldn't be any more different.
It's like 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. What are we going to say? Opposites attract.
So I grew up in a Cambodian orphanage right on the border of North Vietnam. And I was an outcast. I was not respected or loved. I felt very alone. My one solace in all of that was my drum kit, which I assembled from unexploded mines and
We had
tins.
such completely different backgrounds growing up. It's amazing.
But I feel like that we complement each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of
And it kind
that.
of helps because it's kind of...
And it comes out creatively.
Because you have such different backgrounds, but it's kind of like you see, like you mesh on so naturally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You mesh
I
on...
was an orphan. I didn't have parents. My only solace was found through
Hold
my
up to your
keyboard.
mouth.
As someone with no parents, I was basically an orphan.
I know, you're basically... It's like you two... Who would have thought that 2 orphans who look like each other
It's
would come
mind-blowing.
together with a similar sensibility at a similar time and
You know
similar
what? People
age?
always say that about us. We've got the exact same color eyes.
Hold it up to your mouth.
Exact same color eyes. It's insane.
Yeah. And I hear that you two did a bunch of fucking with each other. So what's the name of the album?
Perpetual incest.
Perpetual Incest is the name of the album.
We were
It
both
just occurred to us
meditating.
while transcendentally meditating,
Transcendentally.
astral projecting. Yeah, being...
It was TM. Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
TM.
Paul McCartney he wasn't supposed to be there, but you can't keep him away.
Paul McCartney, as I call him, the weakest Beatle.
David Lynch was guiding us.
Who?
For the mere price of $1,000, one can go to a David
Well,
Lynch
look, I'm
funded
glad you're here
TM.
because we have got an absolutely top quality segment here. It's something that we do every week, and it's something that we'll be doing every night, and we'll also be doing it tonight. It's a special benchmark bit that I like to call Name That High. Let's get a little bit of Name That High music on. All right, it's time for Name That High. And now, Fruit, this is a traditional benchmark bit for Fruit over here. So now, Fruit, could you just maybe, if you pick up the microphone, this is the one that makes noise. If you pick up the microphone, I'm freaking out, man. And if you pick up the microphone, and maybe if you can get, let's start round 1 of Name That. Now, we all know the rules. Name That High.
Special dimensions are only unlocked when you go to the Eiffel Tower. And
Now we've got round 1, and we've got a round 1 of a subject that we'd like to call Name That High. Now let's name something large.
Willem Dafoe's Hog.
Willem Dafoe's Hog. Now if we could all just rate that, let's rate that bad boy. Now for me, I'm giving it personally two puffs on a reefer, and like one of those those tabs of Nang.
I'll give it four skits lines of a craft beer.
Okay, now how would you rate that high?
You know when you shoot Run DMT?
Oh, I've had a few nights on that one. Yeah. keep going.
It's freaking tuned, bro.
Yeah, now let's go to this is a good round of Name That High. Now, if we could get a second round, and this is a second round of a game that we like to call Name That High. Now, let's name Fruit. Can we name a second high thing?
All these beers are fucking empty.
Now we've got a tall thing, and it's
Where are
and
the
it's-
fucking beers?
And it's a tall thing, and it's called. Let's go to a second round of something that it's called Name That High, and we could go the Eiffel Tower. Let's name that high.
If I may start, tuned.
It's tuned. Now, now, Slug, do you have something to say on Name That High? This is the Eiffel Tower.
I'd say about as high as 50 methadones of opiate hydrogen.
Ah!
It's my usual favorite high.
Now, I give it a Name That High rating of, you know, when you have too much coffee, and you're like this. Ooh, I'm really feeling it, man. Can we get the trip cam up here? Maybe if we can be like, when you have too much coffee, and you're like, I'm really feeling it, man. Now we've got one more round of Name That High. Now, which is Name That High. Could we get, the Autobahn in Holland? Now, the Autobahn when it's if you turn it on its side and you put it up at the 90 degrees, let's
The
name that
vertical
high.
Autobahn?
How would you rate the Name That High?
I really need to apologize to my father for like a lot of things.
We don't need to
excuse.
I'd say it's about as high as the asphyxiation one would get from a potato sack.
All right, that has been an absolutely crazy. I mean, this has been an installment of Name That High where I am just freaking out.
It's wild, man.
I mean, so what? I mean, how are you feeling it yet? Are you feeling it yet, man?
Oh,
I don't want to hear from
I
you
gotta go
yet.
bathroom.
I don't want to hear from you yet.
Are we brother and sister?
Well, we haven't Yeah, we did actually officially get the letter back on Friday.
Why didn't you tell me on Friday?
We haven't finished our second album yet, and it's just what we have is so
real
good.
wrinkle
And I
in
need the
things.
viscosity. The viscosity is so
We all
important.
need the viscosity.
Well, look, I'm glad to have you here. Wait,
Is it
hold
the
on, hold on,
incest
hold on,
cops?
hold on,
Incest
hold on,
cops.
hold on,
Incest
hold on,
cops.
hold on,
Have you
hold
called
on,
the
hold on.
incest
Shut
cops
up,
on
shut
us?
up. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Does sound like the siren.
Look,
of
I'm
incest
so glad to
cops.
have you here because it's time for like a special benchmark bit.
How good was it when the incest cops got a slightly
It's
higher
time for a
pitched
special
siren
bit.
than everyone
Shut
else?
up. It's time for a special bit that I like to call Fruit's Sobriety Challenge. Now, Fruit, you're here just in time. Now let's get you here for Fruit's Sobriety Challenge. Fruit, now let's.
fucking hell.
Now, Fruit Sobriety Challenge. We all know the rules. Let's get to
all
it.
right, so the first part is who can stay sober the longest. All right, ready, set, go.
I'm as high as a instinct rhinoceros.
Oh, she lost. She's out. What about you, brother? Oh, that guy's off the nut. He's off the nut. Oh, you got me.
You're out!
What about you, Disney? What do you got? How long can you stay sober for, brother?
Hey, when it comes to me, and can we get a little shot on the trip cam there? When it comes to me, and when it comes to the trip cam, I'm sober as a judge. But I mean, just between you and me, and maybe even between you and me, the furniture, I'm just really tripping bees on this
I
bike.
knew it. I won again, boys. I won again.
Well, thanks. It's been a great installment of Fruit Sobriety Challenge, and this has been an absolutely fantastic episode of Top Shelf Quality Productions presents Top Shelf Quality's Late Night Live tonight, and it's what I like to call the Drugs and Drug Culture Edition. Now, we've been joined by a special band. They're a band called Mitsubishi Electric, and they've got an
Electric.
album coming out, and it's called Perpetual Incest.
Perpetual Incest is
And-
being released
and-
next month.
It's going to be
Please
released
listen
next
to
month.
Perpetual Incest.
And maybe if we can,
Buy it at
maybe
your
if we
local
can,
pharmacy.
I prefer
maybe
you
Fruit,
didn't.
if you can join me with this, maybe let's welcome them out.
Get out of here, you bloody idiots.
Welcome them out. Wait.
Seriously, fuck off.
It's so good to have you guys here, but
Go. Idiots. Just
we've had a good time. And
we could skull this together.
please welcome him out, Fruit Turner.
Come on, bro. Come on, man.
And he's been making
Namaste.
he has been making great progress. He's been making great progress. Sometimes it's hard to cope. When you're all messed up. All I know is that there's a coming cyber war. And no, it's not going to be with French Caledonia. And it's not going to be with Vietnam. And it's not going to be with Chad. The coming cyber war is with Japan. They're hacking our sites. They're taking our trade secrets. They're spreading lies. They're spreading disinformation. And I'm just too goofy and zooted to even consider these possibilities. But I think that people who are responsible and people who have expertise in this area should really consider it.
I want to feel exactly the way I want to feel, which is good, for exactly this long, and so I will exchange a certain amount of cash for this substance, and I will do it, but it's all of course a lie because the control gradually goes away.
My name's Diz. This has been Top Shelf Quality Productions presents Top Shelf Quality's Late Night Live tonight. We'll join you next week where our special guest will be Deepak Chopra. Let's see what he's on.
Alex, great. He's a psychedelic artist. I mean, all of his stuff.